Good morning, folks. It's 7:24 a.m. on the 12th day, 5th month, 2024, and this is Rob D coming to you from Stoker's Siding, New South Wales. Yeah, you just have to throw that in there. Dun, 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 dun. Right, we had quite a night last night of geoengineering going on. Quite the night. We had glowy skies from the chemicals that were deployed in big, massive clouds of crap that were out at sea when they were excited by EMF perturbation in an Aurora type HAARP experiment that was said to be going on to glowing skies would be a side effect. And some of the skies I've seen were absolutely not Aurora like. So I want to go over some of this. And I found this group called Aurora New Zealand. We have to be a member of New Zealand to join. But it has some great pictures of some of the colors that we seen displayed last night. So I'm going to take the liberty of showing you some stuff that makes this look man-made. Auroras usually go in ribbons and curves and lines of magnetic flux, as you could see here in some of these imageries, older pictures of the curtains of chemicals streaming toward the pole that have been annihilated chemicals and compounds that have released their photonic light of what it was. Okay, so some of the colors we're seeing are indicative of terriblenesses actually. So I'll go back to that page now. I'm going to close some of the bandwidth up because it's a challenge here in the morning. One of the shots I seen coming down was absolutely, and I'm looking for it, some of these greens and some of the stuff you guys seen is absolute evidence of poison. Absolute evidence of it. And this is all from last night. See how this is here? It talks about excited oxygen molecules and this and that. Well, I'm seeing far from just nitrogen in this. I'm seeing aluminum, barium, and strontium. And I'm not being fully honest about what is in our sky. And so I'm going to now inform you. Some of your greens last night were barium salts. Some of it was strontium, were in the reds. Calcium, which helps make a bicarbonate, which makes aluminum and hydroxide, barium hydroxide, which will cause a milkiness or a spreading out in the sky of this chemical mix, which makes it very easy to perturb salts, aluminum. And we're seeing these colors in our sky. We saw them last night. The evidence of Chemstralian poisoning was quite evident in the skies last night. I just got that by searching the fireworks color chart. So this in here is not being fully accurate. It's just not. And showing it in streamers and showing it in a plasma cloud like this is like a chem bomb coming straight at you. Coming straight at you. I'm going to use this image a bit that was sent by Nirosha Wera Sakura over in Queenstown, New Zealand. Fantastic image you got of a chem bomb streaming towards you that's having its molecules excited or perturbed to cause an aurora around itself. And this is a chem bomb. All pointing toward an object, streaming towards you, falling down and out. Nice big square and all that to be seen there. We can do a zoom bit on this one now. High. I have a big chem bomb streamer towards you, the angel of death right there. With big squares in the sky right above you, falling out. Something streaming off from this square object here, falling through the sky, falling out. And while everybody was out looking at it, you toxified your blood from breathing this shit in. You toxified your lungs. What a fucking shame. Some of these colors here are as far from a natural aurora as you can get. I'm not seeing the streamer lines that I should be. I'm seeing lateral and fallout, not streaming nice little lines of flux that you would expect to see in a natural aurora. I'm seeing chemicals. We should never be seeing these oranges and these purples like this. Never, ever, ever should we see that. Never, ever, ever. And some of them purples is also lithium salts, bird purple and pink like this, and that'll be evidence of that. And I have a few other charts that we can go with on the colors of auroras and fireworks, but I've showed you those charts a few times. I might have it here in screenshot. I have a different one that shows a more vast number of chemicals, but you could take my word that that's lithium salts give off that color as well. Firework chemical color chart. Let's see That's what we'll Google this up here. You just get it all for you here. Here, this gives a great big list, big old list, chemicals and catalysts. Here we can get a picture of this bigger for you guys. Let's see if we're streaming while this is going on. Understanding chemistry here. Take this on board. Aluminum and magnesium in your silver colors, which we're seeing a lot of. Aluminum, magnesium, titanium. Remember titanium oxide also doing that big white. See, it isn't us oxygen that does this. There's other things. Barium salts is your greens. I was seeing these last night, and I wasn't seeing them in natural ribbons like you would expect to see in the solar wind interacting with our atmospheric and magnetic flux lines. It's impressive. And all I see is a chem bomb falling out towards you. And so you see these colors here, strontiums, your deep reds. You know, so as I go and look at this picture, I offer an alternative explanation. And I think we're being lied to by our oppressors who are killing us. That's what I think. And whether you believe that you're being killed or not, it could kill you anyhow. So it's a good thing I believe in this enough to give a shit. I had to talk to you guys about natural. This is unnatural. This is not a ribbon of magnetics flowing in the solar wind behind the planet at night, where we would see like the tail end of a kite whipping in the wind, that glowing kite. But this is chem bomb fallout. It's very similar to the HAARP experiments done over Norway. Sounding rocket HAARP experiments over Norway. We'll see if we could come up with some of the images of this. This is again fact that I'm going to show you. Jim Lee did a great video on it. Yeah, they did a rockets one day, and they prepped a bunch of chemicals in the atmosphere. And this is not the best image of that. Using sounding rockets, making chemical trails in our sky. Let's see if we can get a bigger shot of this. Because I think it's important for making my point right now of a previous experiment that was run. That I'm well aware of. And then I'll pop you information on that. So you see these here, these plasmoid clouds? Aluminum, barium, and strontium giving off these colors. It's not oxygen. Okay? It's not nitrogen. It's not helium. That's aluminum, barium, and strontium that was released by a rocket as it plumed up into the upper atmosphere. And then they glowed it with the HAARP from Norway. Okay, that's a fact. So here's some information on that to back up what I'm telling you as fact. As we don't go diluted into this world, we don't cling on to hopium when we know we ourselves are individual hopium for this planet. We must show the way to honesty and a better planet, or we're just fucked. And there'll be some more of what the look like was from the sounding rockets here. It's exactly like we were seeing last night. Exactly like we were seeing last night. Oh, I think I did that wrong. Save images. The Yukai talk is shaping up to be something special. This is really, I'm really going to enjoy doing this one. I guess for it to open. Here we go. It's not doing it. It's not doing it. It's going to open it on the web. Okay, fine. You won't let me have it that way? We can have it that way. There's always a way to skin a cat, folks. When a cat has 9 lives, it'll survive that. Could be skinned. You see, this is the chemicals from that Norway experiment doing these colors that they would then say are natural colors, and I say bullshit. Bull fucking shit. Bullshit. I smell bullshit. Yep. And when I smell bullshit, I tell you, don't step in that. It's bullshit. Yeah, manual handling equipment. What the fuck is that? Go. I'm closing some bandwidth now. So have I given you that? Yep. There you go. There's more information on that rocket experiment, which is very similar to what they did. But now they have high altitude balloons to release powders of chemicals that can then be catalyzed into cloud nuclei or water droplets that then can have all sorts of effects applied to them. Oh, we're not leaving the broadcast yet. So, back to it. We have had, this is a very good chart to have. So go look at this and start learning. Start learning. Because if you don't teach yourself, You ain't gonna learn nothing because you can't expect this world to spoon feed you truth while it's spoon feeding you lies. It just ain't gonna happen. So there's some chemistry information for you. How come Robert does his determinants the way he does, right? Because I look for fact and I have a very good base in science and I paid attention to school and I could smell bullshit. See those collars? There's a chemical attack on all the ocean, all that fallout that came from these chemicals, and it's very sneezy out there today. This is an absolutely toxic day. So I'm going to close that out now. We have visited the Aurora. Now it's time for me to show you what's coming, and it's not pleasant at all. I'll start with Australia here along our coast because we're going to kick off today. Today is a day while this dip down here between the two pressures is fighting to get into this low down here. It's going to be quite volatile. This is spinning that direction, that's spinning that direction, kicking all the moisture in towards the Gong and Bateman's Bay and all those areas over there that don't need another drop right now. Perth, you're going to get some action in your corner coming up over the next 24 hours. You're starting about maybe about 9-10 o'clock tonight, my time here, so that'll be about dinner time on the west coast of Australia. Evening meal. Here, dinner is a different time of day, different places in the world. I've missed dinner because I thought it was the nighttime meal before. In some places that's lunch. Some place dinner is the last thing you eat before you go to bed. You want dinner? Yeah, they make you a little bacon buddy and I'll go to sleep. Bacon. I like bacon, but I don't want my sky fried, man. I like eggs and unfried skies. If you could leave the aluminum, barium, and strontiums out of my life, that would be great. And while spraying a bunch of lithium on people to dumb them down, like antidepressant medicine or bipolar medicine, it's gonna. People actually taking lithium could overdose by adding from the sky. And as you see, what they call is a low, which is actually exactly atmospheric pressure of 1014, being fed by very high pressure in the Bight and off here in the ocean. To the east of New Zealand with pressure. See, this is all feeding in. They keep these very similar, okay, so they feed evenly in. If one of them gets lower than the other, that one becomes the dominant, and the flow will go more toward that. So drop this a couple ticks down to about 1026, and that'll start to drift. But right now that's being held oscillated, boom, like when you move your hands back together and make a water pump in the swimming pool between them. It's pulling this up here, which is rotating that way, right? Interacting with its winds down here on the lower low, causing it to spin a bit. And the high is absolutely locked all the way over to Africa, pinning an absolute monsoon flow coming across the river of moisture here all the way through into Africa. But by diverting with big beams through here, we can trickle down via the momentum interaction between a barrier of EMF into Australia on whatever part of the atmosphere we wanted to go if we were to be the geoengineers. But that's how that just works. I'll keep rolling this now. I'll turn some of the pressures off, man. As most of y'all don't understand how that works, but they assist me greatly in understanding how the flow is going to happen. And I can read EMF like a motherfucker, man. Oops, I swore. All right, as we move along now, I'm going to go faster, 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 faster. Come on, clobbering of New Zealand starts here on Wednesday, bright and early. This will be at about 11 o'clock in the morning, New Zealand time. Here is the tip of the Penis Insula, and the entire East Coast gets rocked at the same time. There's going to get a lightning show right up the old wazoo over here in the sphincter. You're going to have some problems. It's going to be windy. It's going to be raw. And the tendrils are going to be quite electric. And so when you see a big one coming over, take cover. You don't want to be caught out on your motorcycle on the roads out here on Wednesday. Right, it's going to come through fairly quickly, and it's going to drop a shed load of water on you guys all at once. And totals are not just a little bit to be expected. The one I was wanting is here. Right, all at once getting, this is 10 to 12 centimeters, some places higher than that, depending on the wind and what's being blown from the cloud out at sea. That could be higher than that. So you guys are about to have a quick event with 100 mils of water coming your way. I'm over at Takaka and Collinwood area here, right underneath the Kiwi Beat. Or to me, it looks like an ant looking at me sideways with the mandible and its antennas. And its abdomen and thorax as it's a flying ant. That's what my imaginarium sees. Happy, happy. Not so happy for Blenheim, you know. They got a big fried eddy down here, over near the river. And it's very, very guilty of geoengineering. And you got to know it, and where it is down there and what they do. So I keep that in mind a lot when I'm looking at Mimic. Beam-wise, I saw a big sweat when I was looking at Worldview yesterday. It might be this one here. Yeah, when I was looking at Worldview, I noticed this area here of with like a beam ray. It came actually all the way to here and out. Located out here to see somewhere was its emanation point. Another one came down here and controlled the flow here. And it's sweeping this direction, holding the center of what they call a low, which is actually at atmospheric pressure, to move this storm toward New Zealand with EMF, right? And what's out here? One of the islands that fries, Burnt Pine. Okay, so you have a good receiver station to use the localized NexRed for its influence in a small area, while the big beams control the rivers of moisture and move things up and over other things, like cold air might ramp up this if it says at an angle going down. And if this was at an angle going up, then it would trap it under it, and you could make occluded fronts that way. And occluded fronts used to be rare when you get a bubble of high and low underneath or on top of each other. And then in the sickness mix was absolutely horrendous right here over the top of Xmas, which needs chemical catalysts for the efficiency of its radar HAARP type systems. And you know they was helping it glow last night. And we look at all the bottoms along your coast that they had chemicals to glow, chemicals to show, chemicals for you to breathe, to sicken you, so they can come out with an asthma vaccine or something else, while cancer from the ingredients of the vaccines themselves that accelerate cancers at a warp speed are being called turbo cancers. You think it was just AstraZeneca that was bad? I think you guys got some homework to do. And the geoengineering is not helping. The EMF is definitely adding to the malaise of our planet every day. The flows here across Tassie are clearly shut off for north-south flow, right? They've created a lateral line of flow for this to come into this mass, then get cut by the EMF from this island on this side here. See the boiler right there? Bzz, bzz, bzz. You got a ship out to sea, and that's going to split it inland, so the cold will mix with the warmer. And then here in the trough, they get it into different layers like a cake, but it's a cake of temperatures and chemicals that each one has specific doping properties of the chemical, or the property to do certain things under certain frequencies, gain a function to compounds, if you will. And meanwhile, I'm watching us getting fried, and I'm watching a terrible weather event about to unfold for New Zealand. So let's hope you've been warned. I'm not going to go too long a term forecast today, just enough to keep you informed. And so as the storm goes through here on Wednesday, you're in for a time, and some of these are very dangerous storms. So you don't want to be caught out camping in a low area. And the soggy thumb continues over to Ruatoria. He gets a big batch of Skyria for Ruatoria. Ruatoria's got Skyria. Skyria. That's right, and you're breathing Skyria. And then as that goes away, it's going to do a bit of a drag through here, and then your earthquake risk is going to rise, because this brought pushing up while that island had a brief lift to it while the low was going past, and it'll drop. And so I'll be looking for some seismicity, and we're looking at some fair decent rain coming here on that day here. We'll see how they're doing for their protest day. Takes a minute for it to move. Hey, not too good, huh? A little sogginess. How about some breathing, whatever the hell chemicals are going in your sky that day? No freedom to breathe free air, man. I can't breathe, said George Floyd. Everybody went fucking nuts. But when the knee of Earth's system is kneeling on the throat of Mother Earth's forest that she breathes with, and nobody says a word, fucking crickets. Why? Because TV didn't talk. TV doesn't understand anything. It's an object that just spews lies, tall lie vision. As we go through the week, it's just been saggy bottoms, boys, saggy bottoms, with big accumulations expected locally, especially down here. And this is a 3-day totals pretty much through here. Again, you're getting 10 centimeters still to come. This is bad. The streams, they're already swollen enough through here. So yeah, they were truly fucked. Truly, truly fucked. And as we go on to the threes, they ain't done. They ain't done. These poor folks. So I'll be watching them. I'm looking for them to clear out probably by the 17th. But here along our coastline here where I'm at, no fun. No fun. Y'all fucked. The 5 days is looking like they got you a couple centimeters coming here. The molds are going to continue to grow. The vial will continue to be spewed across the tall live vision. So let's have a quick look at what is out here on the radar right now. I'm very concerned for tornadic activity in this corridor here today. And the bombs are telling me it's very possible. There was one really bad cell late last night, but I didn't do a video on it because I told you guys to stay vigilant. That was where you keep an eye on your weather. You keep an eye on your house. Because you don't expect the government and the BOM to keep an eye on your house when they're wanting you to own nothing, when they're wanting to take it from you. See that V shape right here? You got a radar over here. You got another radar right over here. You ain't hiding your lies in disguise from my fucking eyes. And this image of data is laughable. It's fucking laughable. It's not accurate. It's all these different layers of the atmosphere they're showing you merged into one. This cloud here get cut into 5 different type pieces as it moves, and you can't tell whether it's going to rain or shine. When you get a back curve like that to your chem, you know that's about to get electric. That's tornadic type deployments. This is what I worry about going on right now. This particular batch here, I'm very, very concerned about because of the vortices of electricity that are being drawn down into this over Dalby right now. This is bad. So we'll be watching this one as the day goes on. Looks like it's progressing towards here. Gets toward in this area here. The Maury radar is showing no data. No data at all. It's not. You can't tell me there's no clouds up here. Because I see nothing but clouds. It's not showing you what's going on. If we go over to here, we might pick up a couple of, they drop the Legos, look down on you, so I need you guys national. This website does not support, go fuck yourself. Support my balls. Whoops, that didn't work. Okay, let's find this differently. Oh yeah? BOM radar. Here about this, we'll just go to the big thing. You don't hide this shit from me. Okay, let's just get the whole thing. It's gonna bust my balls, the national loopy. Okay, well let's overwrite that one. Look, can you tell anything? You think the BOM is living up to their charter? Whoop, I want to see that fucking. This dude is deep state as fuck. That's a different dude playing the part even. Wake up, people. He's pro-vax. He warp speeded things that are now killing people. He stood on Standing Rock, and if you ignore what I just told you, you're ignorant. He's just showing nothing. Nothing. There's nothing to see here. The BOM, you're a fucking bunch of hiding liars that are pushing a global warming that your radars are causing. You're heating the atmosphere with your atmospheric heaters, and I'm very concerned about this batch today going sliding like this. What a fucking shame watching all these chemicals going on over here. People call you a liar because you're concerned. We're all like Chicken Little. The sky is fallout. The sky is fallout. Meanwhile, the chemical bombs are whipping up tornadic activity, poison in my sky, poison in the lung, killing my trees, poison in the ocean, not just with pollution, but with sound waves itself that misguide animals towards shorelines that are not very pleasant for them to die upon. And as I look at these symbols of death in my sky, and I look in the mirror and I say, I am the solution. I know we got this because you're the solution too. Let's go salute. Big love. Stay safe. Don't believe the lies no further. Peace.